liberty of reducing the monetary relief amount according to their whims and fancies without even looking at the capacity of the respondents or without even appellate respondents making such prayer for reducing the amount. Next one is that the lack of gender sensitive handling by magistrates. Their demure remarks giving credence to men most often aggravates violence in the domestic sphere. Most often they hear the matter with the preconceived notion that women are misusing the provision. The next is that extreme importance given to nitty-gritty provisions of the law like jurisprudence often hampers quick relief process. Another one is that police completely hesitate to entertain complaints of domestic violence and mechanically direct the woman to go to the probation protection officers. Thank you very much.
I request the few more panelists to come ahead and take your seat. That is Dr. Behula Shekhar, Advocate Kuldeep, Ms. Kavita from Rajasthan, from UP Advocate Sabina, and Dr. Rose from Jharkhand. And now I call upon L. Pushpak from Kerala. Okay, Dr. Behula Shekhar.
Good afternoon, friends. I have two tasks here today. One to give you the overview of the implementation of the DV Act from Tamil Nadu, and the other is to present the Delhi scenario as well. Due to time constraint, I'm sure the organizers will expect me to do both within the 10 minutes given to me. So I have another challenge. I'm standing between your lunch and you. So let me quickly go through the overview of the Act in Tamil Nadu. There is the total number of 920 cases have been disposed in Tamil Nadu, and 549 cases are pending still under the DV Act. Here again, the district social welfare officers were given the job of the protection officer, which made it really difficult for the implementation, except in a few cases like the urban district in Vellore, where 586 cases have been registered because the district social welfare officer was a very proactive woman, and she has only 22 cases listed as pending to date. And again, in the appointment of the POs, there was a lot of confusion and a lot of unhappiness about that. So finally, ECTA, an NGO there, they filed the RTI. Under the RTI, they got a lot of information from the Department of Social Welfare, and then it was then that it started getting regularized. Out of the 30 districts in Tamil Nadu, only 18 districts had the protection officers in place. Until September 2009, this was the scenario. Now, after the RTI Act, RTI was filed, now they have started appointing the POs in the remaining districts after September 2009. So, and now still the orientation is still pending. Another problem was with the service providers. Again, the service providers for all the districts were chosen, and they were found not to be the appropriate persons to do the job. They had no experience in working with women, and in Chennai it was found that an old senior citizen home was identified as a service provider. There was need again to review these things. The budget allocation was good. It was 96.72 lakhs for the enforcement of the DV Act. And the role of police, again this was a concern. This again, the data obtained from ECTA under the RTI also confirmed that the police were discounting the physical harassment and the psychological violence that were encountered by the victims, and they did not also give any formal referral to the protection officers. So there has been a lot of concerns, and that's about it. And coming to the Delhi case, there was one case that I've been following right from July 4th, 2007 when it was filed. So the time constraint was okay, and the final order was received on 11th of December, so within the 6 months, and the final order under sections 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 of the PWD-DV Act was given, but all was not well for the victim and the family in spite of this final order. There were a lot of non-compliance of the orders. Under section 21, the maintenance was also ordered in the final order, the shared household, and asking the respondent to clear the outstanding areas. That was also given in the order. The residence order was also passed. The protection order was also passed, but there was complete non-compliance of the above orders. The respondent had violated the protection order and entered the shared household and intimidated the children and the victim. An FIR was filed, but again the respondent applied for bail in the Patiala House Court, and then it was denied initially. Again, an anticipatory bail application was given in the High Court of Delhi, which again was ended with a call for mediation. Failing of the mediation, again resulted in the anticipatory bail being given to the respondent. So there was no action taken for his violation of the protection order. Similarly, the warrants of attachment of property was again given. There again, the property was transferred by the respondent to his mother's name. No action was taken. Again, there was total non-compliance. And because the respondent travels abroad often, his passport was to be impounded. That was done, but subsequently the passport was retrieved from the passport authorities of India. So with a protection order, even though it was very comprehensive, the victim did not get any solace from the order, the victim and the children. And the monthly installment on the shared household is still not paid, even though it is there in the order. Now the respondent has challenged the final DV order that was dated December 2007, and the outcome of that, the appellate court had set aside the said order in August 2009. So now, being aggrieved from the appellate court's order, the victim has filed a writ petition, and ironically that is coming up for hearing on the 8th of March, being Women's Day. So we have to wait and see what happens. Thank you.
Okay, there is a slight change. Advocate Sheila Ramanathan, before everybody leaves, because if we break at if we break at lunch, we feel that we anticipate that not everybody would turn up here, and that is why yes. And that is why Sheila wants to make a small presentation for 5-10 minutes. Yeah, okay.
We have all been discussing the whole 2 days, and I believe Snehal was saying that Majlis, the group of advocates, may have a break and go for another meeting they are planning to, and Asim also may be going. And since Asim is our dear friend, I want to make the presentation in front of him. That's why I'm making the changes. It's a joke actually. Today we were discussing about violences, and somebody told me that my husband never used to laugh at my jokes. I have to shake him and say this is a joke. So now maybe we have started thinking so much like men, because we keep on wanting to combat violence, that even here I see that 2 days there is no laughter, no smile, nothing on the face, and when I make a joke also everybody is very sad and looking like that. So I want okay, now the thing is, like, I'm still preparing, and I was thinking of doing it at the end of the day, but now I'm preponing it, so some of the points have not come in. I have been given a slot to speak in the afternoon after 3 o'clock. I'm preponing it, so I'm taking my time which is given to me. So here, see, like women, we have to keep on telling this is our right, this is our right. I'm not taking something which is yours, it is mine. So I'm just being a woman now. Now, the things we have to combat, I've put it in not in real serial order, I'm just putting it in the order in which it has come, repeatedly what has come out. The things which we have to combat will be attitude. Maybe I need that here. How do I can't see what are the things is like attitude. or the mindset. We have been, we have been struggling to tell about the mindset of the judges, police, lawyers in the sense like what Flavia was saying, that lawyers don't think lawyers are us. There are other lawyers who think differently. There are lawyers who see money when a woman comes, or they see the husband, they wonder how much money they can extract. So all lawyers are not like us, and I hope we don't become like that lawyers. But then there are lawyers like that. Service providers also could be corrupt. NGOs of different kinds are there. NGOs who are very much into, keeping the, you may be beaten, but it is only your husband, you please go back. That kind of service providers and NGOs we come across, who are women and child department, who gives them a certificate that they are service providers. Then we have protection officers of different kinds. In Karnataka, hardly any woman is there, even though the act says protection officer has to be women. And it is difficult sometimes, because one protection officer said, I spend all my time with the victim and my wife is complaining. So just like that. So that kind of protection officers are there. We don't know whom to protect from the protection officer. Then we have women's organizations. It's not that women's organizations have the attitudes that are empowering women. So we have to combat these things. Then comes the question of procedures. Everybody is saying there's procedures. What are the problems? Procedures are with problems. Law is with problems. So this is nothing new. When an act comes, don't think it's a magic wand, because it comes with procedures. And serving of summons, or the number of cases, stay in sessions court, you get a good order, you get interim order, stay comes, it's a, so these things are there. Then appeals. Appeals are there in High Court, Supreme Court, everywhere. You cannot remove appeals, because we can also appeal against Magistrate Court, and it's a legal provision, again back to the same thing. And then fees and money involved. Money is involved. When a woman asks for a property right, women ask for a right to stay in that house, money is involved. When it is a question of economics, the attitude has to be seen differently. It's not to be seen with violence only. Violence is economic violence. And to make court understand economic violence is a great effort. Then comes notions of religion, that you stay married, marital status, this justice, what is justice, how you see justice, how others see, equity, family, notions of family, of marriage, of property. Now, things we have advantage of, or which we should take advantage of, is like Flavia was saying in the morning, take 498 cases, take family code, take Indian Penal Code, like the police officer was saying, that take those provisions which can be used. See, read, and then provisions of Domestic Violence Act also has got very good provisions, become expert. Then women's organizations are there to support, tell people what are you doing, what kind of work you are doing. And then advocates such as us, let's be proud of ourselves, not too many people are like us. And